Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core studio. Welcome to the show. Okay, so Tarkir Dragonstorm season, spoiler season, started just a little bit early, apparently, and yeah, many of you in the comments below on one of my previous episodes were correct where I was wrong. Here we go. So, Draco Genesis is one of Maro's teasers that many of you got right out there, and I did not. I was like, Liliana's Mastery, but for dragons, and that's not correct. No. We are talking about Rooftop Storm for dragons. Timmy players out there, get excited. Enchantment for 8 mana in total in red, and it says, you may cast dragon spells without paying their mana cost. Now, if you're a Morophon player, you probably are just using Rooftop Storm, so that doesn't really affect you. I mean, if you want a second copy of that in the deck, sure, but obviously where this is going to see play is Elf Tribal. No, Dragon Tribal is where this is going to see play, obviously. Now, how good is it? That is up for debate. That is a hefty amount of mana. When it comes to, like, enchantments that cost a lot, usually the number that you think about in your mind is like, oh, 6 mana for an enchantment, that's a lot. 7's like, whoa, 7 and 8's like, this better just win you the game. This definitely can win you the game, and for certain, dragons out there, I'm sure there's certain combos that you can pull off, obviously, as well. It is a big, flashy Timmy card, though, that is definitely going to get some attention when it hits the table. It is a mythic, and is definitely going to be expensive as well. Yeah, it is definitely one that is really exciting, but, like, how good is it? I mean, that's going to be up for debate. Like, again, Rooftop Storm definitely didn't see play in, like, every single zombie deck out there for a reason, because a lot of zombies out there are quite low in mana value. Rooftop Storm costs 6. This, again, costs 8, which is even more. Now, dragons do cost more typically, but it does take a lot of work to get this out, and by the time that you do that, like, have your opponents already kind of controlled the board enough. It is one where, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to downplay it at all. It's a very exciting card. It is one that can do some absolutely crazy cool things. It is one that is definitely going to be, again, a card for a lot of Timmies out there that are like, I just want big, splashy, awesome things, and that is fantastic. Magic is very much about big, splashy, awesome things, especially Commander is. And will it save you mana on casting their dragon? Sure, it saves you 1 mana. There you go. So, already some value there. Now, again, like, in the more, I guess, more like competitive, like more high-powered kind of Dragon Tribal decks in general, will it see play? I don't think so, but again, I personally don't have a dragon deck, so you could let me know out there if you do. Many of you probably do, because dragons are an incredibly popular tribe out there. So it's a very cool card. Again, one that does, like Rooftop Storm, have combo potential as well, of course. And yeah, I mean, if you have a Shapeshifter deck, a Changeling deck, cool. Consider that as well. But yeah, for Dragon Tribal, if you want like a big splashy card, very cool with it. But like if you want, I don't know, like if you're looking for like, oh, this is going to put my Dragon deck over the edge, and it's going to be like, this is the card that I needed and I was missing, I don't think it's quite there. But it is a very fun card, obviously. And of course, with the right deck out there, you can do some really crazy things with it as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to outplay the card at all. It's very exciting, and many of you out there were very much right where I was wrong, that we're going to need Dragon Rooftop Storm, because we are, which makes sense, because like Dragonstorm, Rooftop Storm, there you go. Draco Genesis, cool name. Very, very cool. All right, moving on. This one actually was spoiled a little while ago, and I kind of missed it, but I just want to highlight it really quick. It's a story spotlight card, so I think it's spoiled in one of the stories, essentially. Stormplane Detainment, enchantment for 3 mana. When this enchantment enters, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. My only comment on this, we've seen this card a million times before, essentially, is basically, it's like Oblivion Ring, but like they changed it so that you can only get rid of your opponent's things, which, Wizards, come on, let Johnny's Johnny. I mean, we already had a Timmy card earlier, right? Let Johnny's Johnny and just, hey, let us do really weird loops where I just Oblivion my Oblivion Ring, which I Oblivion Ring my Oblivion Ring, and then all of a sudden I'm just get infinite enchantments entering the battlefield, and I get Constellation triggers left and right, but you can't do that with this, so yeah, again, if you're already using these kinds of detainment enchantments, I guess you could call them, sure. If you're not, no. Moving on. This other one, United Battlefront, is definitely another card that harkens back to another card that we saw a long, long time ago. Sorcerer for 4 mana in white. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put it to 2 non-creature, non-land permanent cards with mana value 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest of your library in a random order. Now, This is not, oh gosh, what's the card? It's not Court of Calling. Oh, it was in my mind before I started talking about this, and now it's gone. Coco, Collected Company. There we go. This is not quite Collected Company, and it is different than it in a way that is quite interesting, where Collected Company, I believe, was just about creatures, right? And I think that one might have been instant speed as well. This one is non-creature, non-land permanent cards, which is very interesting with that limitation. And then on top of that, another limitation, mana value 3 or less. Now, off the top 7, chances are decently likely for the right deck out there. Again, if you're playing a Enchantress deck, if you're playing an Artifact deck, you can probably hit those things. If you're playing a Planeswalker deck, chances are you don't have a lot of Planeswalkers that have mana value 3 or less. And obviously for creatures, which is usually where like this would, if it didn't say non-creature, like let's see it play the most in creatures that are low to the ground. But yeah, this is more so, it's a very specific card, I would say. It is one where, again, you kind of got to have just like a bunch of low to the ground, again, enchantments or artifacts most likely as to what you're going to be playing with this, because you can't hit lands and you can't hit creatures. I mean, the fact that this doesn't hit lands, I think they're just trying to limit it so it's not like, okay, explosive vegetation plus, which makes sense. But also because of that, like, you're probably going to whiff a decent amount of times with this unless your deck is, like, literally perfect for, oh, I already have a deck that is all low to the ground, enchantments, artifacts, whatever it is. Cool. It's a cool concept for a card, and again, kind of calls back to Coco, Collected Company. But, yeah, it is one where it's just not quite there for most decks out there, again, because it is so incredibly specific. It is a cool card, and there's certain decks out there like, yes, give me it. Absolutely lots of value to be had. But also, it's like not filling your graveyard, so like it's not going to help with those kinds of decks. They're like, okay, cool, at least I get things in my graveyard if I whiff, or, you know, if I hit 2 things, I still get the rest of my graveyard. No, it's the bottom of your library in a random order, so it's like the worst out of all those scenarios. So it's interesting, for sure. What kinds of decks are going to see it? Again, very specific decks out there. Regardless, a lot of exciting spoilers to be coming, so make sure that you stay tuned to this channel for even more exciting spoilers, quick takes, and everything else. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Make sure you comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again, and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.